what you can do. Hello and welcome to anybody that's online. Just waiting to get all geared up and run the professional coaching practice webinar. So if you're there and you want to say hello, you'll see just below is a box which has you need to put your name in, email address. Hopefully you only need to do that once. Then underneath, put your question, comment. But if you want to say hi, just go ahead and do that now. There's always a delay. Hello, thanks for joining us, Mary. That's great. Really looking forward to it. Okay, so I think it's just me and you at the moment. We've got a few more minutes before we start, so we can allow everyone a chance to catch up, but we can still make sure everything is working. So as soon as you get a chance, do say hello. We do like to know who's online. Then what you can do is just below the webinar box, you will see a place for put your name and email address. It's an email system that we're using for the questions, and a place to write your comments, questions, if you want to say hi, if you want to say anything really. Obviously polite and all very positive because we are talking about coaching. So we still have a few more minutes. That gives a chance for people to log on, do what they need to do. Life just gets busy. I know that. Just before getting ready for all of this, I was putting the children to bed and got covered in chocolate ice cream. Very nice, eh? So hence that's why we'll be using the PowerPoints. So if you just joined us and would like to say hello, and please do say hello, all you need to do is just below the screen, you'll see a place to put your name and your email address and a place for your questions, comments, and just type hello there and let us know that you're here. Yes, we're using an email system. And one of the reasons for that is if I don't get around to answering everybody's questions, I could follow up and make sure all your questions have been answered. Just a couple more minutes before we get going. Looking forward to the session. I should have got some elevator music. So maybe we could all have a little sing-song while we're waiting. Just 63 seconds to go. If you just joined us, please do say hello. All you need to do below the screen is to type in your name and email address. Yes, we're using an email system for the questions and answers. And there's a box there for you to put in all your questions. And just type in hello, send it in. Just double check everything's working. Okay, it looks like we're broadcasting. We shall get going. Hello and welcome. My name is John Cashier-Rice and I have the pleasure to be your host for this session. There are 4 ways to become wise. 1 is to live a long life. 2, to travel through many lands. 3, to read good books. Now that's the easiest. 4 is to converse with good friends. Now that's the nicest. And one of the promises I'll make as you start to think about joining the coaching community, maybe you already are a coach, then you're going to meet some amazing people who really seem to make a difference. Hi, Ashin, welcome. It's good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. And we're just warming up, getting ready to start. Hey, Gosho, lovely. Thank you for joining us. All very exciting. All right, so let's get going. So for your viewing pleasure, what I'm going to invite you to do is to tap into a coaching skill. And this is one of the key skills to coaching. So right off the bat, we're going to use one of the coaching principles. And that is to be present, to be there for the person. Have that awareness mind. So you're in the moment. And I'd really like you to take a moment now to make sure that you're fully here. Hiya, Jim. Thanks for joining us. So that you're fully here. So that means turn off any of the background clutter, those emails, Skype, iTunes, or I know Facebook can't live without you. I know that, but maybe just for the next 50 odd minutes so that you're here and we can get the most from it. And I can tell you, you can master that skill. That's a long way towards being a coach. Okay, so what are we going to be covering in this webinar? And I've got some plans, I've got some idea, and I've got an outline, but I also want you to get the most from your time here. So feel free, if there's anything you want us to cover, go more in depth on, just let us know. But this webinar is about becoming a credible life coach. So why do I say that, a credible life coach? Well, it is a buzzword at the moment. Everybody's a coach. Everybody and their dog is coaching. And even people who are consultants, are trainers, are calling themselves coaches. And it's a shame in a lot of ways that people jumped onto this and made it a buzzword where it's something very authentic. So let's talk about being a credible life coach. Now, with that becomes building a professional coaching practice. And we're going to take a bird's eye view of what it takes to be able to do that. And learn what it takes to become a life coach within that. Then I'm going to talk about an opportunity if you're interested. And one of the opportunities will be possibly to go on and take some training. And I'd like to offer you an opportunity of some of the training that we do. And I want to make sure that I've got some time left for questions and answers. And that's where, if I don't grab your question as we're going through, and I might move at a fair pace on this, because I want to make sure I answer all your questions, then that's the place to do it. Okay. So who am I? Well, a mercifully brief introduction. Like I said, my name is John Cashier-Rice. I'm an NLP master trainer and an international coach. It's one of it's such a great thing to be doing, coaching around the world. It's a real pleasure. My company, essentially myself, is in partnership with Jaguar Land Rover, and I work with large organizations, I work with individuals, and it's one of the exciting things I get to do in life. There's 2 things. Well, there's 3 things. My family, passionate about family, passionate about training, passionate about coaching. And I get to spend my life doing that. In fact, I've been involved in the personal development field now for over 20 years. Yes, probably longer than that now. I'm closely heading towards being 50. I live in a beautiful place called Chichester, which is in the UK, if there's anybody here internationally. And I have 5 children. I have 1 grandson. Yes, I have now become a granddad. So that is just wonderful. And I have a dog. And yep, like I said, he's taken up coaching. Okay, so mercifully brief introduction. That's me. So coaching has grown exponentially in the last 10 years, and there seems to be no slowing down from it. So why would that be so? Well, coaching, as we know it, is life coaching, not coaching within sports. Life coaching has gone through its childhood. It's become a teenager where it got a bit stroppy, and now it's matured. And there's a whole range of tried, tested methods that have been researched at various universities. Very prominent people have been involved in looking at the results we get from coaching, and it's been outstanding. So one of the things that we tend to notice, and if you've been involved in personal development, you probably come across this, is that the top people in any field hire coaches. And it's not that they couldn't get there on their own. They possibly could. But with a coach, it accelerates the process. And because of these things coming together, it's gathering a wonderful momentum. So it's been introduced into the private sector, civil service, schools, university, art, sports, weight loss. You name it, it's starting to be introduced into. And it is growing all the time. So this is a wonderful time in the history of life coaching to be involved within coaching. Like I said, it's matured, and it's in a place where it's an accepted profession in some ways. It's been taught in universities around the world. So it's come of age. So let's make sure you're here in the right place. So are you someone who has a passion for helping others? And that can mean many things. That can be with the coaching. Oh, I've just seen this from Asian. Ashin, sorry. Screen is blank. Oh dear. So let me just check with everybody. Can anybody else see the PowerPoint slides that are up? Just type in yes. And as you're doing that, please do type in whether you have a passion for helping others. We'll get 2 things done at the same time. All right, let me have a look, see what we can do. Okay. Everything seems to be working my end. Okay, so all right, so you've just been hearing me talk with no sense of slides. Right. Okay, give me a second. I'll see what's going on. I thought we had all this. Now, are we seeing the slides now? All right, so I will go back. Let's have a look. Everything. You know what? I tested all the technology, made sure it's all working. And what do we have? We have some technical problems. I wonder whether we're on live now. Let me just check the questions. Oh, great. We got some coming through. Cannot see the slides and just seeing your face photo. Yes, I have a passion for helping others. I see it now. Yes, I'm even more passionate about working with others as a coach than I was the first time we met in London a few years back. Thanks, Jim. Can see them now. Yes, yes. We're on target. Excellent. Okay, so just so that you can see all the pretty slides very quickly. So we started there. The goals for the webinar. Let's just catch up on it. Mostly brief introduction. So you missed seeing my shiny head there. And we then got to talking about coaching grown tenfold, and that we seem to be in the right place for the passion, which is great. Thank you ever so much for that feedback. Great. We're getting there. Thanks, Angela. So you're in the right place if you want to make a difference in the world. And you know what? It can be making a difference. So sometimes it could be as small as somebody might smile back to you on a day they didn't smile. So we're not necessarily talking about coaching there, but if you're keeping an eye on the chat box here, Jim says they have disappeared again. Right. Are they back now? All the technical life. Okay. Slides gone again. Right. So we are broadcasting. We were almost there. We were getting there. So let's have a look. Hopefully we're back. Okay, so what we'll do, I won't fill the screen. You can see the slides down the side, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for keeping me on track, Jim. That's great. Right, well, we'll get back into the flow of this. I won't mess with the slides. You're in the right place if you're tired of just getting by. Now, yes, maybe I'm talking financially. That's one level of just getting by. But also in life, is there a longing for something more from life? Something that you would like to contribute? So yes, I understand about the money thing, and we all need money to sort of operate and move forward. But what I'm talking about is that and life. You know, sometimes there seems to be little direction. So sometimes you want to help, and you're not living up to your full potential. And that's what I can mean by tired of just getting by. So now, if you're like me, this stuff I find exciting. I find the human potential movement, personal development, and all the wonderful things that go with that, which definitely includes coaching, which seems to enhance everything. Passionate about building a business from that. And I have been honored. So I see that we're having some troubles with some of the pictures, and we're getting some slides and some not. Okay. Well, hopefully, if nothing else, you can hear me talk. We'll move forward on that. So Amy says, yes, I do want to make a real difference in many people's lives. Yes. And fabulous. And it starts from one person. I believe it starts with self. When you make a difference in your own life, you can help other people. So definitely. And what is wonderful about this? You can help one person in life, and when they start to believe in themselves, they then go out and help one other person, and that person goes out and helps another person, and you get this chain reaction. So even when you get an opportunity to help one person, it has an ongoing knock-on effect that you may never be aware of. So yes, Amy, many people. So some of you may be involved in this area already, sort of how or even thinking about building a business from whether it's coaching and these areas and these skills. And that's one of the things I really like to explore. You're also in the right place if you'd like to do this correctly the first time. And it's got some lovely comments coming in. So I'll read some of this. Chatting. He says it's called finding your soul purpose. And what a lovely way to put that. And he says, the world doesn't need another Tony Robbins, Robin Sharma. What they need is you. Need you to be the very best that you can be. It's fabulous. So I keep those comments coming. It's wonderful. So are you excited about the possibility of change, which I think is coming through? So absolutely. Okay, so this is not for you if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, i.e. dabblers. So I'll do two things at the moment. I'm reading the lovely comments that are coming in, which I'm going to come back to. I'm going to move through some of these. So you don't know what you want to be when you grow up. So no dabblers. And so the focus is key to life. If you want to help someone else, you start with yourself. And you know what it's like. So you sit down, you tend to do some work, which should only take you 30 or 40 minutes. But you think, I'll check Facebook before I get started. I'll check LinkedIn, Twitter. And then before you know it, the day's gone. And you've lost that focus, or something shiny and glittery caught your attention. So are you focused? Now, if you're reluctant to put in some hard work, because as wonderful as everything I've talked about is, if you really want to make a difference, you've got to put the work in. And it takes time, energy to go through. So if you're looking for a quick fix, this is not it. Coaching is not it. It is wonderful, but you still got to work. And this may be my own personal thing. If you're not willing to connect with clients in an ethical, engaging way, then this really isn't for you. There's other things you could be doing. Okay, so how has this personally affected me? And yes, that is a picture of me if you can see the slides. That's my chubby cheeks on the screen there. Well, I know this stuff works because I've gone from one of the shyest people you would ever meet, chronically shy. If anyone spoke to me, I'd go bright red. I would mumble. I would have difficulty in talking. I had learning issues. So things like dyslexia. Now, being dyslexic that's a cruel word in itself, because even if you're not dyslexic, that's a hard word to spell. I think they asked a dyslexic, how do you spell that? And they went, well, I'll give it a go. I went, D-Y, and just picked out these letters from the air, which all leads to this kind of low self-esteem. And also, I was unemployed for long periods of time when I left school. If I did get a job, it was minimum wage. So what is it that turned my life around? Well, it took someone else, really, a mentor and a coach. And I call it a mentor, Roger, a mentor and a coach, because initially he started coaching me without me really knowing that what he was doing. And as I progressed forward, he started to move into mentoring. And he believed in me long before I believed in myself, which led me to becoming an international trainer and coach. I published several books just to see whether I could or not. And for me personally, I feel very honored to be living with purpose. So that leads me to being part of a partnership with companies like Jaguar Land Rover, which is an amazing company. And I was part of the team that won the CIPD Award for Innovation and Training. And I've been independently recognized as a master trainer. So coaching has been key to my life. And you can see me progress from that's when I had hair, and that's when I haven't. Now, some of you might have heard of a wonderful lady called Karen Williams. She is just incredible and a great role model for coaches. And I had an honor to meet her when she attended one of my courses. And her story basically goes, she wanted to change her life. She spent 15 years in the corporate world. And it wasn't that she didn't love it, but corporate world can take a lot of energy. So she wanted to make a change. And she decided to do something in January 2006. And she took a huge amount of action. And by November, she started her own coaching practice. And she'll be the first to tell you it was a lot of work, a lot of focused energy. She put a lot of time and motivation into it. She's now published 5 books since then. Incredible, won all sorts of awards. And you can see from 2011, 12, 13, and she's just incredible. And so I'd take a note of Carrie Williams and contact her and ask her about her journey. She has a huge heart, a wonderful businesswoman, and spends her life coaching. And she does coach people to write books. So if that's part of your journey, she'd be a great person to talk to. So this stuff is transformational. Now, you'll know if you're a natural coach. And these are the things to look out for. People seek you out, often for advice, but really they seek you out because you listen to them. And in listening to them, they often come up with their own answers. You enjoy helping others. And maybe at this point, you might be a bit frustrated in what you do for a living and looking for something more, that next part of your journey. It could, i.e., the crossroads in your life, and you're looking to do something new. And as positive as it all is, there are people out there that maybe are energy vampires that bring you down, and you're fed up with that, and you would like to work with inspiring individuals. And I know some of you online are coaches already, so you probably recognize coaching clients as this. Coaching clients are proactive. These are people who go out and take action. They do things. And when you're around people that take action and do things, it's energizing. So often as a coach, you're so thankful for your clients because they are motivating. They're coming up with their own answers. These are goal-focused people. They want more from life and they strive for more. All right. So this is a couple of comments coming in. So a couple from Jim. So let me read these out because I think these are great, and I hope that's okay. But I won't mention a couple of things. Jim shared something very personal. So Jim said, I struggle with the word help over the years, and he switched his language to learn from. Do you also find time you coach someone, you learn plenty about them, but also a lot about yourself? And that's, it is. It's true. And what we do, we find as coaches that if you have some issues in your life, you tend to coach people who have similar issues, and they come up with such amazing insights. And Jim was indicating that he knows somebody for a long time, 8 years, who he called an energy vampire. Yes. Who you mix with in life makes a big difference, I find. And yes, I agree with you there. So goal focused. Now, the other thing that we find when you're working with coaching clients, they have high expectations. And yes, I'm talking about high expectations about you as a coach, but also high expectations for themselves. And they are asking to be held up to this higher standard. And as Jim said, you learn plenty about yourself. You find yourself holding yourself up to a higher standard also, which in turn gives higher results, which is just fabulous. And you find yourself starting to move forward. Now, as we said before, some of the most successful people in the world today have a coach. And I do believe that is one of the key aspects of success. It's I think part of that is reading the books, part of that is attending the courses, but also part of that is having your own coach. Oh, Jim's very kindly said, I don't mind, by the way, John, if you can share anything I write here. That's my expectations. It's intended for broadcast. Maybe it inspire others. Well, that's very kind of you, Jim. And you have some fabulous insights coming up as there. So keep the comments flowing in. Keep them flowing in. And I'll go back and forth between the PowerPoints and the comments. And next time we do something like this, we'll see if we can find a way that we can share this immediately with everybody online. Because it's that group. Okay, so let's do a quick poll. Let's find out where everybody is before we move forward. So, are you already a coach? Are you a consultant? Are you a trainer, a speaker? Are you from human resources? What are you doing now? What are you primarily involved in? So I know for myself, as there's a slight delay as you type in and they get put forward, is that my main thrust for a lot of my career was training. And it took on a whole new level when I introduced coaching to what I did. And it is such a rewarding part of what I do now, the coaching. I cannot imagine life without it. So Jim's saying out of those 4 options, he would say he was a consultant. Yep. And an interesting thing about coaching consultancy is, well, I find it interesting, is that a lot of coaches become consultants, but still call themselves a consultant. So distinction between the two, in my mind, is that coaching is non-directives. So you don't have the answers. You're allowing someone to come up with their own answers. And obviously that's a part of consultancy. But often when somebody hires a consultant, they are looking for information. They're looking for advice and guidance. Would you agree with that, Jim? And you might, so as we're waiting for that delay, trainers are delivering information. Coaches help people own the information for themselves and act upon it. Speakers are imparting a message. And human resources do a wonderful job within companies. They get such a hard time. And the people I know within human resources and some of the largest companies in the world are so passionate about helping people that they are really only doing the very best they can. So only by virtue of the fact that my clients are looking for advice and guidance, but I try to get them to answer their own questions as far as possible. Yeah, no, absolutely. And so you can see where coaching and consulting, as you add coaching into consultancy, it gives that extra power. So Amy says, consultant in network marketing, and coach people during my photography sessions to get the best out of them, to get the best picture too. Yes, and I think that's a key part of photography. You can have somebody very natural looking with a natural warm smile, put a camera in their face, and suddenly this wooden posture and this false grin comes on. So coaching them into that. And I can imagine within the network marketing as well, you do a lot of consultancy there, but also coaching would lend itself wonderful to that. Excellent. Right, so as we're moving forward, let's start talking about building a life coaching practice. And at the same time, how to avoid some of the landmines of becoming a life coach. Anything this popular, a lot of people can jump onto the bandwagon. And how to make a difference as a coach and to increase your success in your own life, which I always think is vitally important. So coaching practice. There's multiple ways to deliver coaching practice, and I've probably done a combination of all of these. My favorite is still for coaching one-to-one live in the room, but that's one way of doing it. There's group coaching, and this can be done in various different ways. So you've got worked with teams, where you're working within a team. And I don't know if anybody's done any group coaching. It borders on facilitation with a very clear outcome as we're working with the group. And that could be live in a room, that could be online in a webinar based like this, so things like Google Hangouts, Skype, and the one-to-one coaching consultancy. And this is where we're finding already, so Amy and Jim says they're using a combination as a consultant, but also utilizing coaching at the same time. And here says, yeah, I'm a tutor, similar to a coach as well. Oh, yes, true learning, that has Socrates' method of learning where you pull out the answers from the students. Oh, definitely. Online coaching has grown very exponentially, and I've already mentioned some of the platforms like the Skype, Google Hangouts. That's one way of doing it. But also email coaching. It's not my favorite way of doing things, and I must say I don't really get involved within the email coaching, but effective for some people. International coaching. Now, I love this because I'll often travel around the world for coaching. Now, you might say, how would that work? So some of the ways that I like to approach this. So, for example, working with a lovely client out in Egypt, and Egypt's a wonderful place to go to. And the people out there are wonderful. Now, it's not too far. It's not too many hours flying there and back, but it's a lot of energy and time and effort. So I'm working with a large organization out there. So here's how we do it, just to give you an idea of a model of coaching internationally. Because when you're doing directors and you're doing some of the stakeholders within an organization, they do like the face-to-face. And in fact, like I said, it's one of my favorite ways of doing that. So I flew out, spent a week in Egypt, not too shabby. Lovely food, lovely people, very vibrant place to be. And I spent a week there meeting with each of the people I was coaching. And there was 19, so it took a while. That was an intensive week. And if you've been involved in coaching, you know how much energy it takes. So it was an exhausting week, but well worth it. And then we spent 3 months where we got together on Skype or the telephone, and then I flew back out there. So that's a model of working internationally. Just see if you're interested in doing those things. Oh, I just had a comment there. So did my free one-day NLP training to go on to and do a diploma. Currently contracting, planning becoming a wealth coach, life coach, want to improve my public speaking skills, been to Egypt, loved it, nice weather, nice people, nice food. Excellent. I've got another comment from Jim, which I'm going to read out in a moment. So absolutely, the potential of this is lovely. So let's talk about this, because one of the comments I mentioned, people jumping on this, and Jim's written a comment. I'd like to read it out. Bandwagon jumpers will get caught out eventually. Nothing beats experience and credibility. Oh, and I stopped calling myself a trainer years ago. I used the term facilitator. So instead of training, coaching group of people, I'm a facilitator. Their learning process has benefited from myself too. Oh, absolutely, yes, and I think it's really good to make those distinctions. There is distinctions. There are times when you're training, there's times when you're facilitating, and the skills of facilitating are very different from the skills of training and coaching, but they are related. So there is a lot of hype surrounding coaching. There's probably 4 or 5 books coming out on how to become rich with coaching and stuff. And you know what? Yeah, I do know I know some people who make a lot, incredible bucket loads of money through coaching, but the majority of people, I would say, make a really good living from it. And what I mean by that is that they've replaced their day job with coaching and can have a family, still have a holiday. You're probably working twice as hard though. So there is a lot of hype around it. Now, if someone tells you it's easy to build a coaching practice, i.e., if you have some flyers done and take them down to the local gym and put them up there, and then you get some business cards done, don't laugh, I've heard this advice for VIN trainings. And then the next worry is you're going to have so many clients, what do you do with it? So then you find other coaches you can give it to. You go, hang on, whoa, 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 whoa. If anything is that easy, everybody would be doing it. So I would say it takes work. It's enjoyable. It's growth. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing correctly. And I think from the comments I get that are coming through, I think you guys get that. And this is one of the things that has saddened me over the years. And I've distanced myself from some companies because of this. The price of coaching courses seem to be skyrocketing. People are charging 10,000, 20,000. I've even seen courses 50,000. And for me, that seems to be to do with the ego of the trainers, also their bank balance, I guess. And what I would rather do is see you invest a fraction of that within building your credibility as a coach and use the rest of that to build your business. Don't build somebody else's business. You're going to invest that money to build your own business. So it breaks my heart. And I run a company that gives trainings and coaching and various personal development things, and I see these people charging this money, and it's like, you don't need to. Anyway, so sorry, I'll get off my high horse and move on. Now, the wrong accreditation. Again, I will say this is my opinion, but as I've got the mic, if you don't like my opinion, that's fair enough. I'm not going to mention any accrediting bodies unless I'm going to recommend them. And coaching is self-governed, and there's lots of companies who have set up companies to accredit courses. And there's some really good ones out there. Okay, so Jim says, in the last 3 years, I've run my own business. I can't recall ever getting one piece of business off the back of an advert or a business card. Not one. Networking is key. And as Jim says, and I think this is coming back to one of the slides earlier, is that, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's that connection. Yeah, flyers, business cards are tools, but it's the connection with people that makes a difference. Fabulous stuff. Thank you for sharing that. So the wrong accreditation. I was talking about this. There's lots of organizations that set themselves up, and there's some really big international ones that I know you would have heard of if you've been involved in coaching at any time. And I'm not going to mention them, but you'll know if you've been involved in coaching, you probably know who I'm talking about. So if you want to join them, they're great. Go ahead and join them. But what I find is as coaching has matured, there seems to be this coaches become coach snobs, if that's the right word, where you have to belong to their club otherwise they don't recognize you, and there's lots of kind of arguments about which is the right club to join. Well, I said coaching has matured. It's being run in universities. There is academic accreditation behind this stuff. So I'll come back to this idea a little bit later, and I'll share with what I think would be at least one, if not two, accreditations to look out for. Also, waiting too long to start. Get out there and start. If something is worth doing, it's worth doing. Thinking that there's too much competition, and you could easily think that, partly because, like we said, coaching has grown exponentially. It's often touted as one of the second or third fastest growing fields. Now, within that, you think, well, if there's all these people coming into coaching, who's going to start? Where am I going to find my clients? Well, here's the interesting thing. Rather than think of the other coaches as competition, because what I've discovered, and I think from reading out Jim's talking about he gets his work through networking is key. People buy you. They want to know that you are ethical and can do a good job coaching. So you're not competing against all the other coaches. All you need to do is who knows you, so how do you get known? And you know what? There's a strategy for that. So even if you can't build a website, build a marketing plan, do graphic design, and all those things, they can be outsourced. They can be learned. Don't let it stop you. Take action. The world needs you. Which comes back to approach it as a business. I was expecting a different slide there. That's why I hesitated. So approaching it as a business. And when you approach things as a business, you want to have a business and marketing plan. Now, a business plan and a marketing plan is, I'm not really talking about for your bank. And what I would say is have the mindsets. What? The mindset of the power of broke. Even if you have money to invest in your company, do what you can with what you've got. Start from where you are and work from a plan, which is really the next slide. So when you have a plan, is how do you want to work? So are you building this because you want to spend more time with your children, which means you're not going to be putting in 12-hour days. You might want to start work at 10 o'clock in the morning. So you get the children to school, you go to the gym, you come back, you work for 2 hours, you have your sandwich, you do your yoga, and you do 3 hours in the afternoon of coaching, then you go and pick the children up. So it could be a simple plan like that. How does your day look like? How does your week, and where are you going? So if you're going to approach it as a business, and most small businesses can take anywhere from 3 to 5 years, the plan you want to be thinking about, does it include how you're going to survive and feed yourself in that time? What are you going to be doing? And that all comes back to investing in self. So investing in self is important. If you're truly passionate about helping other people, one of the things we said multiple times is invest in yourself. Amy is saying the slides look fuzzy and I'm wearing my glasses. I do apologize, Amy. I'm not sure why that is. Everything's clear my end. We've got fiber optics going out. We've tested everything we possibly could test. So not sure what to do there. So training, and partly, yes, the physical training and going out and exercising, but also, as Jim might call it, facilitating. Invest in yourself. That's all part of investing in yourself. Part of that is training, reading the books, going to networking. Jim's come back. This is a comment for Amy. Jim says, clear here, try it without your glasses. Yeah, and sometimes that works. Okay, so this idea of accreditation, the right accreditation. Because do you think you could start your own coaching practice without any training, without any accreditation? Sure you can. There are people who do. So who would I recommend? And so why would I recommend them? Well, you've got the Institute of Leadership and Management, ILM, who offer accreditation for courses. They offer ILM level 2 coaching, ILM level 3 coaching, ILM level 5 coaching and mentoring. And Amy says back to Jim, I'm the middleman here, says, love it, will do. So ILM coaching is part of City and Guilds. They're part of their accreditation that's recognized by the government. So and the CIM as well, I think they're great. I would choose those. So if you went to a university and took a coaching course there, it would probably be an ILM coaching course. Oh, we've got another quote here from chatting. We all come from and are connected to the source, and we're all blessed. Believe and receive. Abundance is your birthright. And it's a mindset, right? Then a skill set and an action set. Clients are everywhere. Wake up at 5 a.m., join the 5 a.m. club. Absolutely. And I still got, my youngest child is, she's 8 now, and she does like to get up at 5 a.m. So whether I wanted to or not, I'm up early as well. So, but absolutely. Lovely way of putting it. Thank you. So why would I recommend ILM accreditation? So we've got the university connections. But so let's think about this. You start in your coaching practice, and you may think to yourself, you know what? Who would I like to coach? And you discover, let's say you want to coach people who are disadvantaged in life. Maybe they're homeless. Maybe you'd like to give back to sort of people who are, I don't know, fostering and maybe not have a lot of money to invest back into themselves because they're given so much to the people they foster. Maybe you'd like to work with people who are, I don't know, struggling with drug addictions and stuff. So, but you don't want to charge them. So how do you offset that? And this comes back to your plan and your marketing strategy. So this is a good way of knowing who you want to coach, why the right accreditation comes in, and then that leads to understanding your marketing process. And it would be this. Okay, then. So a couple of ways of doing that. You could take on corporate clients, because when you work in a corporate, they tend to invest more in their coaching practices. So I've heard all ridiculous numbers from people working in the corporate world. There's a number that flies around, and I actually know where it's from, and that people can earn up to £5,000 an hour for coaching. And I know where that's from. And it happened once. This coach knew somebody who worked in a large organization, and they said to him, you know what, we've got some money left over. Basically, if you give me an hour's coaching, I can put it in, give it over to you. And then they go around touting that you can earn that per hour. So on average, it's normally around 250 an hour, which is not too shabby. And I know you've got the likes of Tony Robbins, who charge millions and etc. And he's put a lot of time and effort into building his practice. So to do that, it's all down to you. So you can have higher paying clients to offset the clients that you'd like to coach for free. So where does the accreditation come in? So let's say a large company is looking for a coach, or maybe, and this is happening. I know Barclays have internal coaches where they hire people and pay them to coach as part of the staff. You might be bidding for some work or applying for a role as a coach within an organization. And they're looking at two coaches. One has, let's say, a business that set themselves up as an accredited body, because we're not going to name those, and somebody who has ILM coaching or CIM coaching qualification. Who do you think they're going to pick? Are they going to pick the academic that's backed up, or a self-regulating body? Yeah, I think so. And you never know. You might start off as a spiritual practice and find yourself later on wanting to move into the corporate world, because you can make a real difference there without talking about being spiritual. You could just be there and resonate that energy. And if you've got an ILM accreditation, it's going to help you. And also, for full disclosure, I'm an ILM approved center. Well, my company is. So we offer ILM training. So that's another reason I would recommend them. Okay. So then the other thing is to take action and get plenty of feedback. So coaching has a power, and that power has a way of helping you succeed in life. Now, I'm not going to say life becomes easy. I'm not going to say you're not going to have problems or challenges, but it helps you succeed in life. It's a way of thinking that not only helps yourself, but helps other people. I was having coaching. I have a coach myself. I have various coaches throughout the years, depending on what project I'm working on, because although coaching is non-directive, different coaches bring out different things in me. And I was meant to be, this was a coach that specialized in marketing area. And you know what? I was having some challenges. My son is disabled. He has epilepsy. It's uncontrolled, and the drug wasn't quite working. Oh, we got a comment coming in, and this is Jim. He says, in my experience, the academic accreditation qualifications have not helped me get business, at least not outside the Middle East. The kind of clients I work with are more concerned with experiences, credibility, recommendations, and references. And I would agree with you there, Jim. But here's one of the distinctions that made. The academic qualification can open doors if they have not met you yet. But you're right, the networking thing. I like yourself. I get pretty much most of my work from around the world because people know me or know of me. And once I know them and once we've connected, I don't get asked to see the qualifications. But where it can make a difference is that when you're pitching for work and you're one of many, and a company has to decide, who do we choose? We've got 5, 6, sometimes 10, 20 organizations or coaches bidding for the work. Then how are they going to make some distinctions? And one of the distinctions is often through the accreditations. But yes, I do agree with you. Especially in the Middle East, qualifications are key, definitely key. And so working internationally, so if you're working in, my understanding is, I haven't done any work out there yet. I've been in conversations with people, but if you go to Italy and higher up in the organization that you go, the more credibility they look in. So it's another way of giving you much more credibility. Anyway, my opinion, but thank you, Jim, for sharing. But I absolutely do agree with you. Coaching has a power to, as you start the journey, to live a life that matters. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have challenges, because we'll always have challenges. But what it does mean is you're there. You using coaching. So sometimes you'll need a coach. As a coach, when you're coaching other people, that power of silence, that power of believing in them. Like I said, from my own story, it really wasn't until someone else really believed in me that I moved forward at all. And I'd also say, if you are already working in an organization and you love working there and you would like to still do the coaching, maybe not want to set up your own business, then it will enhance any career. And that's one of the things I've said as we've been talking, is that coaching has enhanced what I do from a training point of view. So it can be low risk. It's risky if you spend £20,000 to £50,000 on a training course and you've mortgaged the house to do this. So using that power of broke, that thinking, that doesn't mean you don't spend where it's necessary, but it does mean you invest wisely. So it's low risk, can start in your spare time. It can build in a full-time business at your own pace. So if you're really looking to accelerate it, there's things you can do that. So if you're looking to do it in sort of 3 to 6 months, getting going, there's a strategy for that. If you're more looking to do this more part-time, maybe you have children, maybe you're edging towards retirement, you think, you know what, I'd like to retire and do something different. You're at a crossroads, but you're not quite ready to make that leap. You can go at your own pace. And I would say it improves everything you do because you are held accountable. Right. So what would your life look like if you were running your own coaching practice? And it is a question. I would like you to start to submit your thoughts on that. It is quite a generic question. I get that. So it could be as simple as, what time would you start in the morning? What would you want to be writing about? So if you've got a website and you're writing about coaching, what would you write about? Who's the types of people you'd really like to help and be part of? So as you're thinking about that and you're typing those in, for me, I like to work with various different people. I've been honored to work with entrepreneurs and people very successful, and I find that exciting. If you've ever hung out with any entrepreneur, you know how exciting that can be. And I also love going into organizations and working with people from the factory floor right up to leaderships. And they bring different set of challenges, a different set of insights, a different set of thinking processes. But I'm also very lucky in that I also get to work with people who, let's say, for whatever reason in life, they haven't been able to succeed yet in what they're doing. So for me, my coaching day, my coaching practice is about variety. It's about that different interest. Right. Okay, so I'll carry on, and when they come through, we'll start to answer that question. It's quite an open-ended question that gets you thinking that. So let's have a quick recap. Where have we got to? So there's 5 parts of everything we've been talking about. Decide to take action. This is where we started. Coaching clients take action. We've actually spent a bit of time talking about training and accreditation, having a business plan and marketing plan. How do you want to run it as you build your own coaching practice, and invest in yourself and your clients? So that invest in yourself and your clients. So you can measure where someone would be in 5 years by the books they read. So when we're talking about investing in self and in others, in self here, sorry. When you're talking about investing in self and we talk about reading the books that you read, don't get hung up if this is a physical book, a Kindle book, or an audio book. They're all part of this. Soraya says, love the webinar. That's very kind of you to say so. Hope you'll do more. Unfortunately, I need to go kiss. Thank you, Soraya. We will start to sort of wrap this up or head towards doing the Q&A in a moment, but thank you ever so much for joining us. So, for example, read books about many different aspects. For myself, I'll read and I'll read about 2 or 3 books a week. I will listen to anywhere between 10 and 20 hours of audio a week on average. I'll also attend courses. I will invest in myself. And that way you stay fresh, dynamic. Because when you're asking your coaching clients to go beyond where they're comfortable, if you're not willing to have gone there first, where's your credibility? Also, the people you hang out with and invest your time with is a great indicator to where you'll be 5 years from now. So here says, similar to my current lifestyle, since coaching and tuition is very similar. Yes, that help in making a difference and impacting on other people's lives. Amy says, it would be fulfilling if I could help dyslexic people. Hey, I'm one of those guys. Or people who have a different outlook on life but have struggled to see past their persevered difference from others. Or young people discovering who they are. Amy, that is very close to my heart. Like I said, I struggled with dyslexia for years, and now I embrace it. And it took other people believing in me, coaching me to get there. So thank you for sharing that. So absolutely, because it's a oh, quick tangent. It's a very strange thing, dyslexia. My dyslexia is spelling, so which you may have seen some typos. I do get a lot of help with the grammar side of things and what I do, but they still sneak through because I tend to change things, and it affected me big time. I remember sitting down once realizing that being dyslexic when I was 18 at the time was affecting the jobs that I was going for, the people I talked to, the people I date. And why should not being able to spell affect all those things? So that was one of the turning points. So this makes sense, because if you're not willing to invest in yourself, who will? The government's not going to do it. So Chatin said, he's coming out. I love these comments. This is by far my favorite part of doing the webinars. That's why I keep stopping and reading them out. They're such good insights. I did a vision board at the start of the year, and one of the things that I have cut out of the paper and put there is, I love helping people and encourage them to make a positive lifestyle change. And Jim says, John, happy to proofread anything you want. Send it ahead of the event like this if it helps you. That's very kind. That is very kind. You don't know how much time and effort I need to put into the proofreading. So and I did hear this from a writer. Good writing is rewriting. And 2 or 3 passes through, it's all to do with proofreading. Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate that. Where did we get to? Coaching is transformational. And I think and Jim says free, of course. That's very kind of you. And coaching is very transformational. I know it's worked for my life. It's turned my life around. And I would say privilege. It is a privilege to be a coach. It really is. To hear. So reading books is key, since I've learned more during the past year reading books and listening to webinars than I have done in my whole professional life. That is saying something, because I know how much you put into and value education. There's a lot of good information out there, but like most things, you have to find the right information for you. Definitely. And Chatton says, join the Drive-In University. Whilst you're driving to work, listen to an audio book, listen to a webinar. Run in university, went out and you listen to a webinar, audio book. Absolutely. And your places like audible.com have made that so easy. And there is other audiobooks, websites out there. Hang on, we're not on the BBC, so I think we're allowed to say these things. And why this makes sense is because you'll laugh and you'll cry with your clients as a coach. And that's why it's such a privilege to be a coach. So you need to do something with that information. And I think that's coming through from some of your comments as we go through this webinar. Now, some of you have taken some training and maybe some of you haven't. And so I talked about having an opportunity. So I run a training company, and we've got a brand new course that was just putting together for life coaching. And we're putting together several things. So do bear with me before we get to the questions and answers. Well, I just tell you a little bit about this new course. Okay, I'm going to skip through some of these. So we have a brand new life coaching practitioner. It is 8 days in total, plus a whole batch more. It's going to be filled with blended learning. So let me talk about that. We've got 5 days live training with a team of coaches. So we've got a brand new team of some incredible coaches and trainers who really know their stuff and they're international. They all live in the UK now, but they come from various different places. And we're going to do 5 days live training in London. And we haven't done this for a few years, and it's very exciting. We're going to go through all the core skills you need for life coaching, be a very, very professional. That includes the questioning, the listening skills that are needed. The accreditation, we're going to look at the ILM accreditation with the course, all included, and advanced coaching models. And we're going to talk about and be very practical about running your own coaching practice. And Jim says, I want to join your team. What do I need to do? We need to have a talk about it, Jim. Let me know. Contact me at some point. You've got my email, john@nlpcourses.com, and we'll chat about that. And I'm happy to talk with everybody because we meet such wonderful people on our courses. Once we've done the 5 days live in London, and that's going to be in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to spend 3 days. So we want to get all the accreditation process, get you qualified, get you having the core skills. Then we're going to spend 3 days live in London. We're going to get you to bring your laptop or whatever device you use now. Who would ever thought I'd be dated by saying laptop? It's almost like saying DVD player, isn't it, these days? Anyway, I still like laptop. Maybe I'm old school now. So 3 days live where we get you in a room. We'll get everything connected. If you haven't got a website yet, we're going to offer to host that website for you and give for a whole year. And we'll make sure get the domain. We'll get your website up and running, and we'll get the pages there. There won't be anything on them because you need to write that because it needs to come from you. And we'll set up a professional email. So rather than john@googlemail.com or gmail.com, which if you're being professional, you want the name of your company. So we have john@nlpcourses.com. So we're going to set up a professional email and we're going to host all of that free for a year for you. We're going to then look at your strategy and marketing plan behind what you're doing. And you don't want to be spending your life doing marketing if you're not a marketer. That's not what fills you with joy. So we're going to look at what are the tools for automating, not the shiny, whizzy, buzzy stuff, but what works. And this is all going to be built. The whole strategy is going to be around your values in a room. But the difference is the 3 days workshop is live in London in a classroom. We're going to do the technical side. So we're going to talk about the business strategy. You're going to bounce ideas off each other. Then we're going to write your homepage and we'll write that together. We're going to show you how to run the website. We're going to show you how to set up the email systems. We're going to show you how to put graphics and images up on your website. We're going to show you how to write posts. Once we've done all that, I'll show you how to design emails so that they are very human but automated at the same time, so you don't have to keep answering the same questions, but always there when you need to talk to email a live person. We're then going to start exploring, I think this could be the next one, best practice in advertising, not gimmicks, but things that work. We're going to not only we're going to give you all of that, and we're going to talk about how do you start to create your products, your books, how to get your name out there, how to do these things, webinars if you wanted to do those, how to utilize social media without it taking over your life. We're also going to give you all the templates you need, agreement letters, before and after session, record keeping, and recommend a whole batch of things. Now, my big insight was after meeting thousands of people who wanted to be coaches that have gone through various courses but still not done anything with it, and then sort of say why, they say, I'm going to have my website up. And all of this is going to be done using either free or very, very low cost processes with a complete relentless focus on results. So got some comments coming through already. So Andrew says, John, my niece would really benefit from this. She hasn't heard of the webinar tonight. Can she hear it now or later? Yeah, I think, yes, we're going to we're going to send a link out if you wanted to listen through again. And why wouldn't you? Going to send out a link so that you can pass the link on to her if you want, and she can watch the replay. That'll be fine. Thanks, Andrew. So we're going to set up a private Facebook group. So keep you on track, keep you doing what you need to do. And then we're going to have 6 months of conference webinars. So very much like this, and well, I'd be face-to-face to the camera so that you've got questions. We're going to help you step by step through this. So we're going to be there. I can give you my personal email and phone number access. Well, I think most of you guys know me already, so you know that I'm here for you, so you can do that. Gonna hold you accountable. As well as being accountable to you, we're gonna hold you accountable. Gonna hold you up to that higher standard. So we're gonna role model. And Jim says, what if you don't or won't do Facebook? That's not a problem. And this is an interesting one, Jim, because I've been going back and forth on the Facebook group thing. It's just an easy way of doing it. And there was part of me, but I was sitting there brainstorming my team, and I'm saying, let's set up our own personal members area, which we could do, no problem. They said, why not use the Facebook or Google Plus, as those are communities, they're up and running, people know how to use them. So you don't need to utilize the Facebook stuff if you don't want to. But I think I'll go ahead and do a private membership area anyway, so we can host the webinars, and so you can download all the extra templates of everything. So thanks for saying that, Jim, because I know not everybody likes Facebook. So I hope this is sounding exciting. I'm going to upgrade the accreditation. I spent a bit of time talking about the accreditation, and I know Jim may not agree with me, but I do think it's important. But I am biased in this area, and I recognize my bias. I'm going to upgrade the ILM Endorsed Coaching to a full ILM Level 5 Coaching and Mentoring qualification. So that gives you the credibility. I believe, I need to double check this, it's just below a postgraduate qualification, that type of stuff. So I'm going to upgrade that as part of it. So, okay, we're talking about a course. There's going to be a fee involved with this. So here's how we break it out. So I'm taking some various different things that I'm doing, and we're putting them together for a package for you. So we've got the live life coaching practitioner in London, and I'm going to give you the dates in a moment, which is 1950. Everything includes VAT. We're not adding VAT. Everything includes VAT. I'm talking about the 3 days live in London, which we sell as a separate course. And that would be 1595. The online coaching, which would normally sort of just be over 4,000, 2,540. That's VAT. Lifetime support goes with that. Now, for you to be able to do the ILM Level 5 coaching and mentoring, we're going to give you access. Say that properly. We're going to give you access to our online learning portal. So this is where the blended learning comes in, where you're going to get all the background knowledge and the kind of the corporate models that you need to be able to pass the qualification, but also if it is an area that you want to go into kind of the corporate coaching. And there's a lot of potential there. You probably don't, coaching is coaching, doesn't matter where you do it, it's the perception. So you won't need to go off and do a separate corporate coaching course. They're going to teach you things like the GROW model, and you're going to go, I know this stuff because my training was done properly. But there are the business models that you at least need to be aware of. As Jim's come back. Oh, Tahir says, I'll come to Jim in a moment. Tahir was in there first. I want to sign up for this. Please pass my please be the details passed since I have to go now. Thanks, John. Very informative. It was a real pleasure. It's probably gone now. And Jim says, actually, John, I do agree with you. As you said in the intro, it's about the right accreditation. What I rebel against is academic qualifications for its own sake, the ego, the driven. This looks like the right one. Thanks, Jim. That's very kind of you. I know what you're talking about there, Jim. There is academia is one of those areas that is wonderfully dynamic and has some great research going on and holds to a high standard. And then there's things you go, huh? I don't get it. So the qualification for its own sake, I get that. So I want to make sure that you get all the information you needed. So you're going to get access to our online training. And if you wanted to check out a bit more about just that part, we have a separate website called online.nlpcourses.com, where we host our online trainings. So we're going to include all of that for that same price. I feel like I'm going into very much the marketing side of things. Okay, so there is a limited time because the course starts very soon. And I realize 2,540 is not 20 or 50,000 pounds, but it's still a lot of money. So I would like to make this as easy as possible for you. So if you are interested and you want to move forward, you can pay a deposit. It's £540, and then it's £200 a month over 10 months. And if I've done my maths correctly, that should equal the £2,540. So you can see that it becomes easier to take part on. Now, hopefully a button has just shown up where it should take you off to apply. So like I say, yeah, the button should now show. If not, I'm going to give you the website address. And go ahead and click that button. It should leave this page open so you can still hear me talking, but it gives you a bit more information. So then you'll need to do is confirm, do you want to pay in full or do you want to spread the cost over 10 months? And you can start the training right away. So this week I'll set you up with the online stuff. We'll send you the manuals for the online, make sure we get all because there's certain paperwork we need to do for ILM. We'll make sure that you get the training, the instructions for joining the live training. Now there's a separate manual for the live training than there is for the online ILM training. So they're separate. But you're going to get all of that as part of it. So you're going to get various different manuals and supports. Okay, so as soon as you've done that, you'll receive an email confirmation to let you know that you have your place. The deposit secures your place, and even though you're spreading the cost, if you choose to spread the cost over 10 months, you can still start the course straight away. In fact, you'll have to, because I've got the dates coming up very soon. That's what I've just said. And there's me again, taking questions, which we're about to do. Okay. Our guarantee is we are here for you as long as it takes. So not just about turning up for the coaching course or building your business practice. If it takes you 5-10 years, and I don't expect it will do, but if it takes you that long, we want to be here as long as we're here. We want to be there. So sometimes it takes people a bit longer. If you need to reattend the live trainings, you can do as our guest. This is a brand new course. So everybody will be doing it for the first time. But if you want in the future when we run it, you want to come back, then please do. So that's everything. If you're not sure, possibly apply, but make sure it's right for you. So now I put these in, but the comments coming through is where he says, I'm not sure why you showed up here today. It could be that some of you are at a crossroads in your life. Maybe you're already a coach and you're looking for something more. Maybe just looking for more out of life. And I think we're coming full circle here, as we say, you've impacted people's lives. You want to leave some sort of legacy. Or deep down, and I think some of the passion's coming through from just the comments, deep down you have a longing, and this may be just your calling. Maybe you're fed up and just need an adventure. And we all need that. That value of adventure is key in life. Okay, so there is a deadline for this, and it's not an artificial one. I've not made up this deadline. The course starts in May. So we need, by the end of this week, to confirm everything up. So we have limited places. So there's the dates. 15th to 19th of May, that's 5 days in London. It's on Hyde Park, so it's on the Circle Line. It's old hotel. I love old buildings, and we're next to Hyde Park. Beautiful park. So in some of the longer exercises, you'll be able to go and sit out in the sun and top up your tan while you're doing the coaching. And then that's the key coaching skills. Then once you've got that embedded and you've gone away and you practice, you'll be ready then in October to come and spend 3 days in London, again near Hyde Park, to build the business. All right, so questions. So if the link hasn't shown up, this is the website. You go for nlpcourses.com/coaching offer. That is a web page. It is a nice location. It really is. So just Hyde Park itself is a beautiful place to go, right in the heart of London. And we use that because it's actually easier to get into the centre of London often than it is on the outskirts, I found. Sometimes when we do a course in Manchester or Birmingham, we like to go on the outskirts because it's easier to get to the venue. Whereas in London, it's normally easier to get into the centre. So questions, comments, please do give them. I'm here for you. Now, what you see, that 15 was meant to be a timer, and it works if the PowerPoint's up and running, and it will count down. Somebody told me I needed to put on there, so I thought, oh, I'd give it a test. So we're looking for questions. Okay, so need to send this link quickly then, John. No promises. My niece will sign up, but I think it is where she's at that, so it might be a good point for her. Absolutely. So Jim says, what if you cannot attend part 1 of the dates offered? Okay, I can understand that. Possibly, if you are keen, Jim, and you really want to sort of get on board, one of the things is that I think maybe what we need to do is, I'm going to say, Jim, let's arrange to have a phone call, and let me know when's the best time to call you, and that might be best because I think there's some more things going on. But one of the things we do with all our trainings, if you can't make part or some of the courses, we offer you to come back later at another date. But I think what might be good is for us to have a conversation about that. Because I don't think you're talking about missing 1 or 2 days, because normally what we can do is make that up on another course somewhere. But if you're missing the whole part, that's a big chunk of it. So let's talk, Jim. I think that might be a good thing to do. And my number's on the website. Let me bring up the website. That might be a good thing to do. Nope, I'm not sure. No, I won't do that. So, yeah, so you'll ideally want to be there. Thank you for an informative presentation. I thought the timer would say 14 minutes and 38 seconds. Yeah, that would have been my preference, actually. Thank you, Chetan. It's just one of those things. Technology. Although I think the technology let us down a little bit, but there's something that says if you're going to run a webinar, do anything technical, you can always guarantee something's not going to work. But that's okay. We still manage to communicate, which is key. So got one coming through. Hi, Mary. How long will it take? Okay, so we've got the live training, and the live training is the 5 days. Then you start the online. Well, you can start the online straight away, but I suggest you do the live training first. So we know that the live training will take the 5 days plus then the 3 days. So that will be the end of October. But within that, you'll be doing the written work. So I think with the ILM qualification, there's 3 major bits of work to do, which mounts to, they talk about 60 hours of work, of self-research. That doesn't include the online videos, audios, that's the learning part of it. So I think you could probably, if you're really quick and really keen, you could probably do it in 6 weeks if you're doing this full time. But you probably want to give yourself 6 months to be comfortable in doing this. And part of that is we want to do this properly. We don't want to rush this. When something's this life-changing, you want to get everything you can out of it. Excellent. Right, fabulous. We have run over time a little bit, and I do apologize for that. But for my point, I have really enjoyed this. I've loved spending the time, and I think every time we do this, my favorite parts are the comments coming through. So I get sidetracked from that. I'm talking about the presentation. I see this wonderful comment, this wonderful insight. There is so much wisdom here that I just want to read them out. Okay. Really important question. Are the slides still blurry, Amy? Serious question now, though. How much extracurricular work is needed? Do you need to write essays that will be marked by university professors who know nothing about us? Who is accrediting us? Okay, yep, let's answer that. So how the ILM works is that I ask everyone to submit the work to me personally once you've done it. And what I'm going to do is just do a quick check to make sure that everything is right. And there's, like I said, there's three main pieces of work. One's a reflective, and then there's the two essay style written work. It's doable. We're not talking 20 or 30,000 words here. We're normally talking, I think one is 2,500, one is just about 3,000 to 4,000 words. So it's not huge amounts. And there's a reflective piece, which is again normally about 2,000 words in total. You're going to send them to me. I'm going to look through them to make sure, and if there's anything else that needs doing at that point, I'll get back to you. Then what's going to happen is we're going to send it to our internal moderator. So we have to have somebody who moderates it that's not one of the involved directly with the training. So they're going to go through it. They will then come back to me with any questions, and or you can talk to them directly. That'll be fine. Then once those done, we then say to ILM, because we're an approved center with ILM, we say we recognize Jim as reaching the standards. And then what they do for us, they have an external moderator that comes in and checks our work to make sure we're keeping up with the standards. So that's the process. So there's a little bit of the external moderator won't know who you or met you, but that's been passed through me first. Then an internal one who possibly wouldn't have met you. They might have met you, but they possibly won't have. But it won't be told directly within the training itself normally. And then, but I'm there. That's what I'm trying to say in a very clumsy way. So hopefully that's answer the question there, Jim. And then Amy says, thanks for this presentation. I just wish I could find the money from somewhere for the course. And how much homework do I have to do? Yeah, no, absolutely. I only really want you to do this if it's right for you. And that's right for you on many different levels. That's right for you as a training, but also right for you at this moment. Because if you haven't got the money to do it, I want you to do it when you do have it. And I think that's really important. And Andrew says, sorry, John, I have to go now. Look forward to the link. Thanks for the webinar. Good night. Thank you. Chatin says, very interesting. Not sure if I can make the dates in May, like Jim, starting a new role and I'll have your number and we'll chat. That would be fabulous. And in fact, anybody who's online who wants to talk to me personally about their moving forward of any of this, please do contact me. I should have put my email up there, but it's John, JOHN, @nlpcourses.com, and I'd be happy to talk. I'll put some time by tomorrow and the next day to talk to anybody who would like to talk to me. All right, it's way past my bedtime. As I have 5 children, I'm normally in bed by 9 o'clock. I know, what can I tell you? Thank you. It's been a real honor to serve you here. Please do keep in touch. Click the link. There's a little bit more information on there. If you want to talk to me, I'm available to you. Amy says, yes, but maybe it's because I'm a photographer, so I like the pictures pin sharp. Other webinars have defo been sharper, though, but not what's been said, as it is razor sharp. That's very kind of you, Amy. Now, it's interesting about the why it's fuzzy for you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's fuzzy for everyone because I like to use the very best I can. We've got the fiber optics, we're using Macs, and they're normally very good at the pictures. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but thank you ever so much. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care and talk to you soon. Elvis has left the building. Thank you, Jatin. Bless you as well. And he says, good night to everybody on the webinar.